Jimmy G probably going to be a Niner next year.
Yeah.
Now, none of that makes sense to any of us because we heard Jimmy G say goodbye to the Niners faithful.
Yeah.
And we heard the front office basically say, Jimmy's been great for us. We've been very thankful for Jimmy. We just have to go in a different direction. Ian Rappaport's reporting that the 49ers coach Kyle Shanahan here at the NFC Coaches Breakfast, which is what we just talked about. I don't know if any of them eat, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure. Says he sees a scenario where Jimmy Garoppolo is on the roster in 2022 and acknowledged the surgery delayed trade talks. As for if both Trey Lance and Jimmy G are on the roster, Shanahan declines to name a starter. Okay. So we have to pick through all the coach speak, and we don't want to give up any leverage on any potential trades or anything like that. This is vastly different than what we just saw a couple weeks ago. Before the shoulder surgery, which none of us knew was coming, I wonder if the rest of the NFL, who maybe had their eyes on the Italian handsome quarterback for the Niners, didn't know it was coming as well. He gave a thank you goodbye. They gave a thank you goodbye. Then it kind of moved on. No trade talks. We always thought he was going to be a domino that was going to fall. Obviously, whatever's going to happen with Russell Wilson came out of nowhere. Then Matt Ryan is on the move. And then with Deshaun Watson's on the move. We're like, oh, Jimmy G's got to be next then somewhere because there's a lot of teams that need a quarterback. That did not happen. The shoulder surgery allegedly spooked some folks, but now it's like, yeah, why would they let him go? Like, why not? They can do another year of the whole Trey Lance learning how to play NFL quarterback. We don't know if he needs to or not. We're just telling you what could happen. And he leads that team yet again that is already stacked and packed and ready to go. They haven't been in any other conversations with any other veteran quarterbacks, I don't believe. I'm not 100% sure. But they are Trey Lance or Jimmy G, and nobody wants Jimmy G right now, and they're not going to get good trade value. Why would they give him up, I guess, even though just a couple weeks ago it seemed like he was as good as gone?
Yeah, especially now that the carousel seems to have stopped, because even Carolina this morning or yesterday morning, Matt Rhule was saying, like, you know, we expect Sam Darnold to be in the running for our starting quarterback position. So
we think he's going to be playing better football.
Yeah,
we love Sam. We've always loved Sam.
So they might be out of it.
We looked at like 7, 8 different quarterbacks. But
like for the Niners, for a guy as good as Jimmy G is, I mean, I guess you could cut him, but if you don't know what Trey Lance is yet, you might as well keep Jimmy G around. In worst case scenario, you know, like week 4 or 5 next year, some big quarterback gets hurt, and now he's of supreme value. Or, but say they're 4-0 at that time with Jimmy as a starter, what do you do then?
Well, you keep Jimmy as a starter, I think, if that's going on. If they go into the season, he's the starter. I think only an injury would turn to Trey Lance, right? I'm fascinated by it all because all these teams that have these quarterback situations, Matt Rhule, who I guess was tearing down the dance floor.
That's a great worm.
There is a report. I don't know if he did the worm or not. That was Christian Pulisic, but Christian Pulisic did a little half-ass worm, but at least he gave it a go. Scored 3 goals. You do whatever you want to do. But allegedly, Matt Rhule was tearing down the dance floor last night.
Wow.
Says at Joe Bucks fan. Unexpected happening of the night. Panthers head coach Matt Rhule owning the dance floor at the NFL owners meetings night party. Matt Rhule. Listen, don't get it twisted. He has aged like a president since becoming a head coach in the NFL.
Yes.
He's gotten paid $70 million guaranteed for the next 4 years. He's going to be able to continue to collect that money. He left Baylor. He was just a ball coach, winning, having success. Now he's got the stresses of who's his quarterback, businesses, negotiations, new stadiums, new owners, everything. And we thought this was maybe killing him. We thought maybe he was dying.
Yes.
Well,
He's not dying. He's living his best life. This guy's on a dance floor doing his goddamn thing. What are you saying well for?
I'm worried about his liver because I think you look at, his weight. I think Coach Rhule's maybe hitting Grandpa's cough syrup a little bit too hard, and that's why he's having such a good time on the dance floor.
There's
I hope
rumors he
that's
lost
not the
his
case.
luggage.
Well, there is rumors of that strictly because
So
of
he
how
definitely lost some found the clothing.
Well, it's strictly because of how he looked. That is happening. We don't know if that's real or not, or if that's a shot.
I read about it. No, I was reading about it.
Okay, all right. Well, Zito, it's in the calendar. Put it in the calendar. Let's lock that in. Ty, mighty rich of you to be the one. Isn't that Foxy? Isn't that funny? Oh, you too, Foxy. You fucking booze. Yeah, so
I love the dance floor. I love Matt Rhule because of this now.
We would like to let Matt Rhule know that if he is just boozing all day, every day to drink away the sorrows of being an NFL head coach, he's not the first. He won't be the last, but we are worried about him.
That's right.
It's going to be like these dudes were publicly outed at quarterback by these teams. And now Sam Darnold, much different than Jimmy. Jimmy's had a lot more success. Sam Darnold's been thrown away already once before. Not that I mean, kind of. The Jets stunk.
Yeah,
The
right.
Panthers stink whenever he's in. I
Yeah.
mean, he might be a guy, who knows? Maybe it takes him 6 years to graduate into a good quarterback, and he's getting the opportunity to do all that. So more power to him, although not a lot of people are happy about it.
No.
But Jimmy G's had a lot of success over there. He's gotten paid a lot of money over there. That's the difference with Baker. Baker hasn't been paid yet, so I get it. But these public situations with these guys potentially coming back, I don't know. That's incredible mental toughness and a great ability to do business and separate personal from business, because Jimmy knows if he's starting for the Niners, that team's a good fucking team.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's getting paid a lot of money. I think it's like $25 million or something like that. He's got a good contract, got a great team. He's probably pumped for that opportunity, even though bygones be bygones in the past. You guys said you want to move on 2 different years. You trade up, you want to move on. Last year, you had me say goodbye. That's just something I think that other teams look at whenever they look at what Baker did and then what everything else is happening. It's like, hey, not only is it every other position in the NFL competition gets brought in and we decide if you want to do it, but also in the quarterback position and a couple different teams right now it's happening and you're going public and everything like that. Once again, I understand why he's doing it. I'm just telling you why other front offices are probably like, we don't want that guy in our building. And that's where Baker kind of currently sits, I think.
Yeah, and with Jimmy, doesn't it seem more likely that maybe if during the draft, a team that's looking at a quarterback and, maybe misses out on somebody, then they make a move for Jimmy? Because John Lynch said, it was 2 twos that was allegedly offered, and say, I don't know.
In his pocket.
In his pocket. Even if it's like the Steelers, and I'm not saying they will because they have Mitch now, but if they wanted to get a quarterback at 20, he gets picked, like Malik Willis gets picked earlier than that. Would the Steelers then offer 2 twos for Jimmy, because he's also a month and change into his rehab, so you kind of have a good feel on where he is with his shoulder.
And Mitch could start for a while and then potentially hand it over to Jimmy, but you'd be paying 2 quarterbacks, so you don't know if they're the future, or pretty good money. Jimmy G might be the quarterback for the Niners going into next season. So you think about last year, they traded away their entire future to get up to number 3 to get a new quarterback. It was very public. Jimmy G still on the contract. Jimmy G still in their plans, they said. Jimmy G handled it, smile on his face, went to work, did his thing. At the end of this season, he said goodbye to people in the media. Like, hey, all right, it's been fun. Thank you all so much for being nice. The team said, yeah, we're going to let him seek a trade. We're going to figure it out. He was great for us. They did a whole goodbye. Then you think about like the Sam Darnold situation. Sam Darnold for the Panthers. Now, I'm not saying that he has accomplished anywhere near the same amount of things that Jimmy G has, but the Panthers were clearly in the quarterback conversation publicly with every single team that could possible. And now Matt Rhule saying, Sam Darnold actually looked pretty good last year, like coming back around. With the Baker Mayfield situation happening the way it happened, do you think with the way Jimmy G has handled this, the way Sam Darnold has handled this, it's only going to spread the word around general managers and front offices even more like, yeah, Baker's not out to be cut out to be a quarterback? Because if Jimmy G's their starting quarterback week 1, this is already after goodbyes and smiles.
Yeah.
And he handled it like a real professional, which a lot of positions have to. Baker, I think, is going to get labeled a distraction in this entire thing. I honestly believe that.
Yeah, Baker can't stay there. He can't stay there and be a backup. And I honestly don't think it'll work for Jimmy G to stay in San Fran either. I think they're coming out and saying, oh, it's a possibility he'll be in the plans, blah blah blah. But that's BS. I think they still want to move him. We've all seen and heard reports about them telling Trey Lance that he'll be the guy going forward. Like you said, they already said their goodbyes, and that's one of those positions where once that toothpaste is out of the tube, it doesn't go back in. Same you saw with Deshaun Watson and the Browns before they knew he was actually going there. Matt Ryan with the Falcons, and the Panthers, they damn sure better move on from Sam Darnold. I don't know what that's about. I know they're in the quarterback market in this draft, free agency. I think Baker Mayfield would be a better fit there than Sam Darnold would. But I think San Fran, they got to move on from Jimmy G. The Colts, you heard them say that they would have been in on Jimmy G if it wasn't for that shoulder surgery. And that's what kind of threw things off. When Jimmy G decided to get that surgery, when he did, that threw off the whole timeline that the 49ers had in mind. So now they're kind of trying to figure it out on the run.
Darius Butler watches a lot of film. Darius Butler, one of the highest football IQs I've ever been around at any position. I got a chance to watch it live in person in team meetings and on a field. Absolute stud. You like Baker a lot, huh? You've said he's better than a lot of Mitch. I think you said he's better than.
Whoa! That's bad. No, I do not like Baker a lot, but I did say. I think the Baker Mayfield disrespect has gone a little too far, though. I still think he's a top, 22 type quarterback. He's a middle of the pack quarterback. He played hurt last year, which he shouldn't have. That's bad on his agent, really bad on him. But, you can't stop a player from playing if they really want to play. But I think Baker is a decent starting quarterback in this league. We saw him have success early. We saw him have success Obviously, that playoff year, and I think he's still a good player if you have weapons around him. But yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Oh yeah. Because early there, I guess I kind of cornered you into being like, Baker's a great
But
quarterback.
I'm not. I don't want you to think. I don't want to say like, hey, I'm high on Baker. But he's not a backup quarterback. He's a starting quarterback in this league for sure.
Okay, awesome. Excited to see what he ends up doing and where he ends up going. The Jimmy G situation, fascinating as well. Just in mental toughness and being able to separate personal from professional feelings. Not everybody's able to do it. I don't know if I'd be able to, but if Jimmy's able to go back and do his thing, that's awesome.